she called me a white bitch and then punched me.
This is the office of Scranton at Dunder Mifflin.
Breaking news. Bethany has eaten another scooped out bagel with chicken salad inside. And he looks up at my dad and says, she's in shock.
This is nichelord.
I'm going to talk about it anyway.
There's just something about having a dog that everyone on the streets fawn over.
She gets a lot of compliments, as she should. She's a very uniquely cute little bean.
Everyone, rightfully so, thinks that she's a puppy.
She is a puppy. So, maybe.
We don't know. She might be an old lady. We're getting some conflicting evidence over at the vet.
First, the rescue says she is 4 months. Then we take her to the vet. They say, actually, she doesn't really have any baby teeth. She only has one left. She's probably 6 months. Then she goes into heat. Then she gets out of her heat. We take her to the vet again. New doctor this time says, it's very unusual for dogs to go into heat right at the 6 month mark. I feel like she's probably closer to 9. How old are you?
Because she was definitely acting like a puppy when she got here. I know there's like stress and, potty training kind of goes out the window with like a young dog who's stressed. But she was definitely like waking up at the crack of dawn. Definitely
very
a lot of puppy behavior going on. If she was just an old lady acting a fool because she's like, these bitches don't know that I'm trained, so I can just start all over and act a fool.
That would be very Virgo of her if that is her true sign, but we don't know.
We can't even connect an astro sign for her.
Who the hell knows? I feel like I'm living Ellen Pompeo's life in that new Hulu show about that actual child.
A show based on a true story?
Yes. She was like a 7-year-old girl, and they were like, are you really 24? They thought she was an adult. Pretending to be a kid.
But she was actually 7.
She actually was 7.
And looked like a 7-year-old. Or does she look like
You know what? It's very interesting.
Jeez.
She kind of looked 7, but she would have been great for that 13 or 30 subreddit where they post pictures of people who look both 13 and 30.
Yeah.
She's kind of one of those people, but she was a child. But I'm glad we got a cute dog.
We got a cute dog and we got a cute show.
The cute show is this one. Welcome back to This Is Niche. My cup runneth over this week with stories.
Last week we were seeking stories out. This
bottom
week,
of the barrel last week.
We are overflowed.
I think we need to start with my favorite story of all time. One of my favorites, actually. The whole Nikki Blonsky lore. Can we please start with this? Because I haven't laughed this hard in years.
I just want everybody to know that for the past few days, she has been digging deep into this, and I have said, don't tell me nothing until the show. I want to react authentically. I'm not on this side of the story. I don't know what's happening. And she has literally had the world's biggest problem from trying to tell me everything that she learns about this whole situation.
It's because
riveted.
Once you get one Nikki Blonsky cameo on your For You page, they just start rolling in. So basically, Nikki Blonsky is an actress. She was in Hairspray, the movie.
Okay, can I look her up?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you recognize her?
No.
Have you seen her before?
No. Hairspray 2, Hairspray Live, Geography Club.
It's only Hairspray.
Velvet, the English Teacher, Waiting Forever. Okay, a lot of small movies and like 11 Hairsprays.
Okay. It seriously like brings tears to my eyes because I laugh so hard. So she does Hairspray with Zac Efron. I have to take a moment and just compose myself.
This is how she's been trying to tell me stories on like our dog walks. And she's just like, I have to tell you this. I'm like, no, but she's doing this every time.
I know. I can't get through the story because I can't stop laughing. So she's in it with Zac Efron and she becomes weirdly kind of obsessed with him afterwards and acts like they're best friends. Like she goes on Wendy Williams and Wendy's like, so do you think that Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens are going to go all the way and get married? And she was like,
no.
Okay.
Sorry, D. Love you, girl, but it ain't happening. Sorry, Hollywood. I know him real well. I love him real well.
And everyone was like, okay. Zac Efron goes to rehab. They're doing a story about it on Good Morning America. They bring on Nikki Blonsky. And they were like, what did you do when you heard the news that Zac Efron was going to rehab? And she was like, picked up the phone. What did you say to him?
She cannot stay in character. This is crazy.
No, it's so... It's seriously, I'm not kidding.
Is it like a gag that she has this going on? You know, kind of how like Jimmy Kimmel and someone like prank each other?
No.
This is completely one-sided. This is probably how she stays in the limelight to react to Zac Efron news. Okay. She's on 24-hour Zac watch.
She is. She's seriously obsessed with Zac Efron and always pretends to know him. And
She does know him, though.
she does, but
Does
like,
Zac ever get asked about Nikki?
you know what? I'm very surprised. Oh my God, I can't even talk about it. I'm very surprised that after Bob the drag queen made that comment about Dylan Efron's brother not being able to act, I'm surprised we did not hear from. Did we hear from Nikki Blonsky? And was she like, that was very rude at Bob the drag queen? No, you know what she would say? She would say, hi, it's Nikki Blonsky from Hairspray. Bob the drag queen, that was not nice what you said. Anytime she tweets at a celebrity, she says, hey, Lady Gaga, it's Nikki Blonsky from the movie Hairspray. She's tweeted to like 20 people with that exact formula, to the point where when she went on that show and was speaking about Zac Efron and calling him, everyone was commenting. She probably called him and said, hey, Zac Efron, this is Nikki Blonsky from the movie Hairspray. How are you? Anyways.
How all really great friends introduce themselves on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. So she does weird tweets. She also just posts very funny videos. Like she went to an event in West Virginia and posted from her hotel saying, oh my gosh, West Virginia, you guys are taking such good care of me.
It's Nikki. It's your friend Nikki from Hairspray.
Oh my gosh, this is the biggest TV. She's doing like a hotel tour. It's a fucking Best Western. Like, I'm pretty sure I have stayed in that exact Best Western. And she's like, in the best part, the view. And it's like a parking lot with woods in the back. And then this news comes out that Nikki Blonsky and her family got into a physical altercation at the airport in Turks and Caicos with this girl's family who was on America's Next Top Model, because apparently one of them was like trying to save seats in the departure area, and they literally got into a racially sensitive brawl.
You're telling me that the Blonsky family
Yes.
brawled with America's Next Top Model contestants' family?
Yes, in an airport, in public.
Well,
They all had charges up against each other.
I don't know who the model was. I assume she's black.
Yes.
Okay.
And Nikki Blonsky was like, she called me a white bitch and then punched me. Anyways, there's a resurgence right now on TikTok where apparently she's been doing $20 cameos for the past 5 years. And so many people have gotten cameos from her. And every time she'll be like, it'll be like a cameo for someone who's coming out as bisexual and their friends get it for them as like a congratulations. And she's like, hey, Zac, it's Nikki Blonsky from the movie Hairspray. Congrats on being a bisexual person. It's so awkward.
So obviously these are like really charged prompts. Like they really try to like ham up the prompts.
They kind of troll her a little bit. And the gag is that all of them are being like, I put in the request for the cameo and then I got this like 10 minutes later.
She's always on call.
She is on, and she's doing it for $20. Like, we should get one. I should have gotten one for this. I could probably get one right now, and she'll send it before the episode's over.
Honestly, I would do that. I think that this would be really incredibly funny if that actually happened. Can we ask her what she thought of Bob the drag queen?
Yes. Okay, everyone, hold on. Nikki Blonsky. Oh, she raised her price.
She's too much in demand. What is she now?
You know what? She's getting too full of herself. Why are you raising your price to $100 plus?
Oh, that's too much.
That's too much.
Oh, that would have been really funny.
Do we do it for the bit? Her reviews are all like, she has 4.94 stars, 1,900 reviews. And the last one is Nikki is the best. Super fast turnaround time. Anyways, Nikki Blonsky, apparently her family was also throwing out racial slurs during that brawl.
I was wondering if that was two-sided, because
it was two-sided.
If it was one-sided and she and or her family didn't retaliate in that way, then people flooding her with $20 cameo requests is like the best way to come out of like a situation,
yeah,
like a viral situation like that.
Anyway, once I show you the videos, once we're done here, it will all make sense. The cameos, the West Virginia motel video, the Zac Efron obsession. And speaking of obsessed, I don't know what side I'm on in the Hailey Bieber, Selena Gomez feud, if there even is a real feud.
It's such a one-sided fight. It doesn't even count as a
It's
feud.
honestly just people attacking Hailey Bieber at all times.
It's Hailey being disrespected
Yeah.
and trying to keep her man and doing whatever she kind of knows how to. That's it.
This whole TikTok 8-part docu-series thing, wow. It was very convincing that Hailey Bieber is obsessed with Selena Gomez and copies everything she does. What if, since you were a preteen girl, you had been plotting to meet and marry this man, and he is extremely rich?
I don't know her motives. Like, she's always seemed like a pretty standard girl. She's not like too super full of herself from what I can
I've
tell.
heard very good things from people who have met her in person.
I don't think Hailey Bieber would be necessarily put in that category of like kind of nepo baby, shitty attitude, takes
No.
everything for granted type of thing. I
No.
don't see her as that type of girl. But if she wanted to marry Justin Bieber, and it doesn't matter what she goes through for these next 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and she comes out of here with Justin Bieber's kid, a fat alimony check, and child support, I think she's doing all right.
Oh, you see a divorce.
I don't necessarily. I think if there's a divorce, it's only coming from Justin. It's not coming from Hailey.
Based on this series, she has been trying to figure out where he is. Let me just give you one example. She was in communication with a New York City based Justin Bieber fan page, and she's in the DMs of the fan page. The person who runs the fan page posted the screenshots of this, and she's like, hey, Justin Bieber's in New York. Where is he? Me and Kylie want to know. And the fan page would be like, he's at this hotel. Why was she booking a room in the hotel and staying there? The fan page was telling her, yeah, he's leaving the hotel and they're going to dinner at this hotel down the block. She makes a reservation, goes to the restaurant.
Honestly, some of these girls that want to try and marry rich and famous and, do all that, they aren't doing enough. This is doing enough.
This is clearly, it's doing more than enough. It worked.
Right.
It's a lot. She started dressing like Selena Gomez. She got a tattoo of the letter J that was the same font as Selena's Justin necklace.
Right.
It was a lot. There's a lot of weird evidence.
I think over the years, because it's been so spread out, I've heard of some of these coincidences, and it just gets diluted because it's been over time. Oh, something else came up.
Yeah.
And then someone comes together and puts an 8-part TikTok series and you're like, this is a little much.
It's a little much when it's all put up together, and they had the photographic evidence and everything. I was like, damn. That definitely could have been 3 parts though, or 2. They stretched it.
I'm not against Hailey, like I said, but I am so much more pro Selena. I just think that she's stood on business. She's, she's cool with herself. She puts herself in situations she wants to be in and removes herself from others that she doesn't want to be in. She's a triple threat. Literally her music career, her acting career, and
let's not act like her music career was a threat.
she put out some good stuff, is all I'm saying. And it's not like she's hated for doing it. It's not like Shaq's music career.
Do people hate Shaq for his music career?
It's a blemish on an otherwise great thing.
Really?
He's not great. And I'm talking before he became a DJ. I'm talking like back when he wanted to be a rapper. And
okay, I didn't know that even happened.
That's what a bunch of those NBA guys did. Kobe Bryant did it. They do it to try and just add another element to their Hollywood, especially when you're in LA.
I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I really am not on anyone's team. I do have some of Selena's songs on my Spotify. I do have a Rhode lip balm, although it was a gift, but I do use it, even though it has like little beads in it. It's very uncomfortable, but I don't really feel particularly. I just feel kind of weirded out by the documentary, and I know that Hailey Bieber will never address anything that was said, so
No.
Why even bother thinking about it?
I think it just puts a really weird position for Justin though too, just to be like, how do you feel about your wife literally copying everything that your ex that everyone knows that you're still in love with?
Oh, they've been telling him this for years.
I realize, but that just makes it really, really weird. It's just hard because I think about the like paparazzi pictures where it always looks like they're going to 2 different places, and then you see some of these videos where he just seems overtly irritated, like he's trying to get her in the car,
leaves her behind,
kind of annoyed, all these kind of things. It can't help to constantly have the same talking points be brought up to you over and over again about your current wife and your ex.
Your ex from like almost, I mean, it's been a really long time.
I can't imagine dating in Hollywood and just having your ex be on TV everywhere you look, being on posters and adverts and all this stuff. I think that would be really hard to date in Hollywood like that. I just learned what WAG means today. I've seen it all over the place. I know the context. I know, who they refer to, but I never worked out the acronym WAG.
Wife and girlfriend.
WAG is only a term used in association with like rich and or famous people.
No, a WAG is a sports term.
Okay, athletes.
Yeah, it's for athletes.
Right, but shouldn't there be something like that in the acronym? I don't know. But there is some WAG drama going on this week with, of all people, Sydney Warner.
From Pilot Pete's Bachelor season that I did not watch because at that point I was bored of that shit.
Okay, so the players at hand are Sydney Warner, Kristen Juszczyk, and Chloe Kittle. And it is now currently open trade season contract finalizing for football players. So that means that George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk, their contracts are up or they get released from the 49ers. So the interesting thing is that we have Sydney Warner in the morning, right after the announcement of George Kittle getting released. She posts happiest of Mondays with a picture of her coffee cup on her Instagram stories. A little coincidental, but you don't think anything of it.
Whatever.
It's just a Monday starting off a new week. Well, then later in that evening, Kyle Juszczyk, his announcement gets made public that he is also being released from the 49ers. She posts a picture on her Instagram story. Wow. And the day just keeps getting better and better. Celebratory Diet Coke.
She's like, these bitches is leaving.
Now there's just absolutely no question about what her posts were about. The players are gone, which means the wives are gone.
Clearly she doesn't give a fuck about the players and it's about the wives.
But now this sparks all this drama that I don't think anybody outside of like the San Francisco 49ers like WAG Reddit thread even cared about, which is the fact that there's beef between Sydney Warner and Kristen. This is now all of a sudden a whole thing that's blown up on TikTok. I don't even know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I did see in the Wives of NFL subreddit, they were talking about how Kristen and Chloe were the ones who were invited to Olivia Culpo's wedding to Christian McCaffrey, and Sydney was not invited. And I also saw, because these Redditors are just very on top of their shit, they looked at Sydney's posts and saw that Kristen's likes weren't there anymore. Meaning that one of them blocked the other one because it removes your likes.
Oh, because I was going to say, did she just petty go back and unlike posts?
Or that. Who knows? But
I
they're not following each other
pettier.
anymore. Yeah. By the way, look how cute she is.
Yeah.
She's just laying right on my hand. Oh my gosh, I can't move.
Often the wives of male athletes have these like groups where they do things, not only for like each other, but for foundations and community events and fundraising and things like that.
I was about to say, they're kind of inherently in this weird group together where they have to hang out in some ways. So it's like better to be friends for sure.
If you're going to show up with your husband and go to a Niners event, they're going to be there.
Right.
Their husbands are going to be there. So she's basically laughing, waving them out the door on these announcements of their contract, only to find out that the very next day, Kyle Juszczyk gets another contract to come back to the 49ers. So he got released from one contract, signed another one for just different terms, maybe better money for the team. Now someone needs to go back and check on Sydney Warner because she might have posted something a little prematurely.
Ooh, that's like driving and honking at someone and flipping them off and then like stopping at the light right next to them.
And then they pull right next to you.
It's like, ooh, did too much, too early, did too much.
It just poured a can of gasoline on this drama, which wasn't even that big.
Please tell me you have seen the ootd post from that Doge employee.
Absolutely.
Look, I really respect people who are content creators and have a corporate job. It's a hustle and I understand, but aren't you supposed to be checking for efficiencies in the government and you're doing outfit of the days? That it's not my personal style. I'm sure it's someone's. I just don't subscribe to that.
At least maybe add to the lore of like the office siren. This is the office of Scranton at Dunder Mifflin.
This is the office of Bria's kindergarten teacher.
First off, you're part of the Department of Government Efficiency. And I'm sure the point of that is that you don't hire people who have enough time during their day to make OOTD videos. And yet you want to be part of the team that is gutting every other organization.
I'm sure, the outfit of the day videos, they take her like 2 seconds to make, but
it is the optics.
and you can tell. Yeah.
Burn.
Sometimes I just want to be a little bitchy.
Do you think that we are allowed to universally hate anybody who works for the Doge administration? Obviously, we don't hate everyone that works at Tesla, but we hate the head of Tesla. We don't hate everybody that works for Amazon, but we don't like what Jeff Bezos is doing.
No, I think this is different. We can hate them.
I think that if you're trying to work in the government and you're trying to get a job, you know, fancy job title, all this kind of stuff, I totally get wanting to do that so that you can build your ladder to working in government. But if you're part of that department,
that's not even going to look good on your resume in the future.
That depends on who ends up continuing to win elections in America.
Yeah, but I live optimistically on the assumption that we're not going to become like a fascist dictatorship.
Okay.
So I think that it will be a bad look in the future to have worked for Elon Musk at Doge.
I mean,
and now when they Google you, they're going to find your fucking videos.
Yeah, that shit's going to live on forever.
I hope so.
This is like the way worse version of those flight attendants that got, I think there were multiple of them that posted videos of them like doing TikTok videos or twerking on the airplane before there were any passengers on there, but posting the video, you know, they're wearing their uniform, the whole thing, and they get fired. And you know, it's a public outcry, the whole thing. This is a much worse version of that. I say for the flight attendants, if you are not technically on the clock and there is no customer near you, not on the plane, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure flight attendants don't actually start the clock until the plane like pulls away from the gate.
They don't, yeah, until the door is closed.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and say hire them back.
Completely agree. And honestly, if anything, that is positive marketing for your airline. Whenever I see a Southwest flight attendant just whiling out, it makes me very happy to be a Southwest customer, even though they did get rid of 2 free checked bags. I don't check bags, but I think it's really problematic.
Literally, the CEO was on air trying to reason with people. Yeah, we took this away, but we got to, you know, make sure that our investors and, you know, everyone else is still being taken care of. Cut the fat at the top. Do what Richie Rich did. You gotta cut it right here.
Is that what Richie Rich did?
Absolutely did. When his dad got lost at sea, when his plane went down due to sabotage, he takes over. And the first thing that the number 2 guy who caused, you know, this whole problem, and he's trying to take over the whole business, the first thing he suggests is because our numbers are dipping, he was going to fire people. And at the board meeting, Richie Rich, a little 9-year-old Richie Rich, however old he was, it's like, my dad has never fired a person in his life. I think that if we've got something to trim, we start right here.
What the hell
Basically,
does that mean?
all the board members take pay cuts.
Wow, yeah.
Because you could save how many employees by just cutting 10% from the board. Think about it.
Wow, that's tea.
And
yeah.
So Southwest wants to reason with us because we're supposed to care about their shareholders.
I can't believe he even would say that publicly.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Again, we don't check bags, but we do have really easy access to flights up to the Bay with Southwest. But I'm down to switch it up. I'm down to go to GSX.
Let's switch it up.
What is it, GSX or is that
K9 Air?
K9 Air. I'm down to go back to, what did we fly to Paris? JetBlue?
Yeah, but JetBlue is run by Ballerina Farms' husband's family.
Yeah, but at least if I'm going to be on there, I'm going to be treated well. I felt that was the best leg of our entire flight.
American is the pits, but JetBlue I could do. Delta I could also do. We'll have to see, because Southwest you're pissing me off.
Did you see the video of the lady who showed her baby's passport to the Mumford and Sons band because they named their kid Mumford? The band was like, oh my God. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did see that video, and it looks like the singer was like, why the fuck would you do that?
I think he was shook. I think he
was shook.
But that made me think, is there anything that you care about enough that you would name your baby? Something like big. I know we've all kind of been close to making that like wrong tattoo decision
Oh my God, yeah.
a timeless lyric of Bible verse quote.
Oh, was that you?
It could have been.
Oh my God, they need to raise the tattoo age to 21. I wanted to get Jack's mannequin lyrics tattooed.
And that would have been a regret.
I don't know,
Lyric
it's hard
tattoos
for
are
me.
never good.
Yeah, and the lyric that I wanted was so dumb. It was like, I swim. It was like from that song Swim. And it was like about swimming, literally. Why would I get that?
Jack's mannequin, I don't know if he's, canceled or not.
Absolutely not.
But it doesn't really matter what the quote is. Just looking at someone who got like 5 lines, like on their bicep or something like that, it always looks bad to me.
I disagree. I can't think of a good one that I've seen.
Exactly my point.
But I think I could have done it. I think I could have pulled it off.
Where would you have gotten it?
I wanted to get it on my ribs.
First off, with someone with a rib tattoo, let me tell you that even my tattoo was extremely risky to get on the ribs.
Why?
As a fellow skinny person, your ribs protrude, which makes making straight lines very, very difficult.
They got to pull me taut.
It's not that.
Pull me taut.
It's the ribs. You don't pull the skin off the ribs and then tattoo that.
Why not? Have they tried it? Have they tried it?
Coming from the person with no tattoos.
Well,
all I'm saying is that I think that tattoos like that
I was nuts.
would be highly regrettable.
I swear
10
I
years
wanted
after.
it in like Courier New font too, like a script font,
Classic.
like a screenplay. Yeah, no. Thank God. Thank
Okay, so
God.
what is there anything that you care about that you would name a kid?
No, honestly. I would never name my kid after a celebrity or something like that, because what if the Mumford guy gets canceled and then your kid is just forever Mumford and you have to explain that? It's like, what if I named my kid Cosby and now my kid is named Cosby and it's not a good look?
Yeah.
You got to be real careful. Same with the lyric tattoos, honestly.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes the band is separated from the individual.
But his name is Mumford.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know. What about
that'd
you?
I would do a gimmicky name for a pet, but not for a kid. But I thought about getting 2 dogs and naming them like Jack and Daniels.
Boo.
Something like that.
I get it. Yeah. Definitely not a human, though. My favorite kind of story is a corporate espionage story. A spy moment. Corporate spies.
We don't hear about spy moments anymore, except for Krista Noem.
Who?
She's like the Russian spy. Got a cabinet position. Isn't she the one? No, Tulsi Gabbard. There we go. Christy Noem has that Republican
Bitch,
face.
you are going to get us sued. They're going to clip this and put it on Fox News.
Hey, all
They're
public.
accusing her of spying for the Russians.
But Tulsi Gabbard is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
Other than that, you don't hear about the spies anymore.
The false accusations have to stop. There are these 2 HR kind of software service provider companies, Deel and Rippling, that have been competitors for years and years and years and years. And this guy started working at Rippling and he started searching Deel on Slack all the time and going through a bunch of their documents and searching Deel. And I guess the IT guy noticed. So then they set a trap and the president of the CEO of the company emailed like 3 people about this Slack channel called defectors, about people who had worked at Deel but wanted to leave. And it was basically like poaching them. The Slack channel didn't exist. The email didn't go out to everyone. It only went out to a few people. And this guy, this employee, was searching for the Slack channel on Slack. So they were like, excuse me, we fucking caught you. He was spying on them for Deel.
Oh, so he was gathering intel at his current company.
Yes. Trying to figure
sell
out
it to Deel.
Right. I don't know if he was previously working at Deel or what, but he was giving them information about customers, about their practices, everything.
Do you think they thought that that's what he was doing when they caught him spying, or did they just think that he was just being snoopy?
They were suspicious, which is why they set that trap with the Slack channel that didn't exist.
No, I get it, but you could be snooping for all kinds of things. You could be snooping for like dirt on your boss, on the CEO. You could be snooping for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but I think it was too specific.
Okay.
Very specific searches about Deel.
So how did this story come out?
It came out recently because Rippling filed a lawsuit against Deel
Oh, shit.
for corporate espionage.
Oh, shit. That's actually a law.
Yes. I mean, I guess it's a civil law, but yeah. And Deel is like, we would never spy. Y'all are the ones with ties to Russia, not us.
Oh, shit.
This is some deep shit.
We got to check Tulsi Gabbard's Slack channel.
Someone read her. She's not on Slack. She's on Microsoft Teams.
She's on
Someone
True
read her
Social.
Outlook. Anyways, I thought that was very spicy. Like one day they're going to make a Hulu limited series about it or something.
Maybe it's not bad. I mean, we'll see where the drama goes, but that maybe.
It's interesting. It's kind of giving 0 Day a little bit.
That show's getting me paranoid.
I know. Me too.
I think I've been mentally prepared for a cyber attack on American institutions for a long time. So like, I'm not super triggered by that. I just think that the way that this show for some reason is being filmed with a certain level of like suspense.
Yeah.
It's considered
It's
a
a mystery.
thriller. It's really getting me on our nightly walks because we'll smoke and take Junebug out for a night walk after watching the show. And now I'm walking around the neighborhood, which is a perfectly safe neighborhood, and Junebug's seeing things and barking at thin air.
That's weird. She was barking at something. I thought it was a coyote or something.
Junebug, at the end of our walk, was barking at thin air. We couldn't see what she was barking at. And she literally took a 90-degree turn and walked us home into our apartment.
She was shook. She was scared. Whatever it was. Maybe it was an
Something
evil
got it.
spirit. Anyways, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the show so far, but I'm going to see it through. I want to see how it ends. I have a very strong prediction.
We shall see.
I have been talking to every member of my family lately, trying to get townie tea. I called my grandma yesterday and we were on the phone for over an hour, and she was just telling me these stories because I told her like I need stories for my YouTube channel. And my grandma and grandpa were really involved in like the Floyd County community. My grandpa was the captain of the rescue squad. My grandma's on the rescue squad for like 15 years. And I was like, you've got to have some funny stories from the rescue squad.
Now explain what the rescue squad to anyone who may not know.
Okay, the rescue squad is a group of volunteers that agreed to essentially like run the ambulance and be first responders.
Because the county didn't have money to fund those
Yeah,
people?
she
Or
said now
because
they're paid.
They don't, or because that wasn't really a service that was widely offered in rural American cities.
I think it was a problem with the rural cities, but now they have one. I actually got picked up by a rescue squad in North Carolina when I was in high school, and my dad still laughs to this day because basically I had a kidney infection and I had like passed out, and the guy comes up to me and feels my pulse, and my dad is like, "What's going on?" And he looks up at my dad and says, "She's in shock." And my dad was like, "What?" Because my dad like works in like the medical field or whatever. He's like, "What? Her blood pressure's bottomed out. She's in shock." And my dad was like, "No, she's not." And I just remember them carrying me down the stairs in this little wheelchair thing and looking down at my mom and her just like trying not to laugh.
Because it's just a bunch of regular Joes. Just
It's
like
regular
trying
Joes.
to help people out.
Yeah, they do some training, obviously, but like they're just volunteering to help out in their community. So I'm asking my grandma for these funny stories, and the stories she was telling me were not funny. It was dark. She was telling me about like the car accidents, the murders, also about how they didn't have gloves. So she was touching bodies without gloves. It was a lot.
Doesn't she know that we're looking for townie tea, which is funny so we can laugh at?
Yeah, she was like, "I don't know about funny, but I can tell you about the time that I found a body that had been in the river for 2 weeks and we had to remove it without gloves and put it in a bag." I was like, I don't want to tell that story, even though I just fucking did.
But she did have some crazy stories because she got called to go to the house of a KKK
Grand Wizard.
Grand Wizard.
Yeah, this is nuts. So she was on the rescue squad and they got a call to this guy's house. Apparently some people on the rescue squad knew him. It's a small town. And they were like, "Connie, don't go in the house," or whatever. And she was like, "I'm on the rescue squad. I'm trying to rescue people. I'm going in." So she goes in the house and starts putting him up on the monitors and all this stuff. He's acting completely normal. "Oh, do you want something to eat? Do you want something to drink?" I told her maybe he was trying to poison you. I don't know. Basically, they take him to the hospital and he's totally fine. And as they're on their way to the hospital, he was like, "How could you save me?" And he starts crying in the ambulance and is like, "I can't believe that you would save me knowing that like I'm in the KKK," basically. Crying his eyes out. I guess has a moment of clarity. I don't know if the moment lasted or not,
Usually
but
doesn't.
she said the next day she saw him up in Floyd with the EKG sticker still on him. So he was fine, but didn't remove the stickers. But yeah, she would like encounter weird situations like that a lot.
She was stitching people up in the hospital. Like
She also volunteered at the hospital, yes. And they would call her Dr. Hayden.
which she's not a doctor.
She was not. She was a volunteer rescue squad person. And she said she did know how to do a lot of things. Like she knew how to intubate people and do stitches and stuff. And so she and my grandpa would volunteer at the local hospital. She was telling me the story about how someone came in with a cut and she was stitching them up. And the doctor walked in and was like, "Connie, where are your gloves?" Because she was so used to doing shit without gloves that she was like, "Oh, oops." That was like the funny story she told me. I was like, oh.
Oops, I might just get a blood
Staph infection. Yeah. The only other story that I got actually from my mom after I got off the phone with my grandma was that my mom was shocked. She didn't tell me about the time that the guy was driving the ambulance so fast that my grandma fell down in the back and the patient fell off the gurney.
On those flowed
That
curvy
Bent
roads.
Mountain road. Yes. So absolutely nuts. Unfortunately, the townie tea that my grandma really has, she's keeping very close to the vest. My grandma has a tenant that is extremely funny, but she is very defensive of him and doesn't want him to like sound bad. So she won't tell you the real story about how the FBI raided his house.
This is a gay redneck who is in and out of jail for believably dealing meth, all kinds of his house, which is her house. And it's basically turned into a halfway house for a bunch of people who have gotten out of jail.
Yeah, she does say that he lets people who have gotten out of jail stay there. But her story is that he was caught bootlegging and it wasn't a raid. The cops just came and got him.
If you're thinking who bootlegs in the 2000s, people in Floyd County, because moonshine is still a very real thing
Very
and
much.
it's still illegal.
I know. I asked her like, who would be bootlegging? And my mom was like, what is this, the 1920s? No one's going to be bootlegging. But she claims that he was bootlegging and there wasn't a raid. My mom says that the DEA had been watching him for months and finally decided to do the raid, the federal government. And so my mom and her sisters were like, he could have a meth lab in there. Like that place could blow up. We got to get him out of here. And so they told him, you have to leave. This is not good. Our mom is old and can't deal with this shit. And he went to my grandma and begged her to let him stay, and she did. And she said that he has been nothing but great. He has always been nice to my family. Like,
yeah, I've met him.
Yeah.
I've waved at him from across the, yeah.
He is a very nice person, and he takes care of my grandma, fixes her stuff. You know, there's nothing wrong with him personally. It's just hilarious, the thought of my grandma and my aunt, who happened to be at the house at the time, just experiencing this DEA or FBI, whatever it was, raid on his house.
Cars on cars on cars, just all pull up.
Yes.
All super
My
organized.
mom said that my aunt took a picture, but it's like the worst picture she's ever seen. So she took it through the window and didn't even go outside. But yeah, that's the story that she refused to tell me. That was the real tea.
I have to believe that there's more to the story going on there. But we will find out and we will report back.
I know. I got to call my aunt back for a second time. And get the full story, even though I just told it, but pretty good. Our nichelord of the week is a man of the people, a man who is giving the people what they want. Evan Lazarus, who goes on TikTok every single day and documents everything that Bethany Frankel has posted for the day. This morning, it is March 14th, Bethany Frankel posted that she had a bagel scooped out with cream cheese and Tobiko. Then she posted a get ready with me to go to this event. Then she posted a clap back at a comment who called her out for da-da-da-da.
Why does he just say what she posted? People can just go to her page to see what she posted.
We're not watching all that shit. Just give me the summary, the highlights.
So rather than attending the event, they want someone to come back and report
and recap it.
Oh, I thought he was just reporting. At 3:05, it is now 3:10. She has posted a TikTok. At 3:12.
He does a summary at the end of the day.
So every evening he makes a summary of everything she did that day. It's
Yes.
not like a live coverage.
No. This is not an Aaron Parnas situation. Breaking news. Bethany has eaten another scooped out bagel with chicken salad inside. The chicken salad was ice cold. It's just so funny and random. And I like it when TikTokers do that.
It seems harmless. It seems fun. Nichelord.
Nichelord. If you like internet history, reality TV, pop culture, and niche things like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow Will on Instagram at willg.mcneil. If you want to catch some of that smoke, you can follow him on TikTok at bookit.yt. Make sure you follow Junebug at goodjobjunebug. And you can follow me too, Bria.Stuart.
And if we bought that Hairspray Girls cameo, we might have received it by now.
I know. I kind of still want to get it. We'll see. We'll think it over. I just think it'll be funny.
I think it'd be really funny if you made a TikTok of you ordering the cameo and then setting up a time lapse of you like sitting on the couch just doing other things with the timer in the back showing how fast she turns it around. I think that would be really funny.
I need her to say, "Hi, Bria. Here's my request. Say, hi, Bria. It's Nikki Blonsky from the movie Hairspray. And you wanted to know what I thought about Zac Efron being called out for being a bad actor on Traitors. She would probably be like, so I have not watched Traitors, but I will say that Zac is a beautiful person. I love him so much. And we had such a great time on the set of Hairspray. Good morning, Baltimore. Bye.
Do I need to watch Hairspray now?
Very camp.
It's a musical.
The mother is
Musicals
played
are
by John
musicals.
Travolta in drag.
I think I'd rather watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
That's what you compare to Hairspray?
Yeah.
Do you mean Mamma Mia?
No, but that one probably makes more sense.
Okay, bye.